Hello guys, welcome to Websphere. So today I'm going to show you how to configure this data source in Websphere. So as part of this, today we are going to look first of all install and configure DB2 database. Okay, so we are going to just create some tables. So and the next just we are going to create a simple application server profile. Okay, in Websphere application server profile. So just and we are going to create and data source JNDI connection on this particular simple web application server profile, and we are going to deploy web application in Websphere to test this data source. Okay, so this we are going to pull some records, so which is created in the above DB2 database. Okay, that's all. These three major steps we are going to look in this part of data source configuration. Okay, so now so first I am going to show you how to install this DB2, and we are going to create some just simple table, some records we are going to insert. Okay, then we will go to this Websphere application server, and we are going to create this JNDI data source and we'll test the connection. Okay, when it successfully is connected, so I will going to deploy a simple web application. That web application is configured with code level JNDI connections. Okay, by using this JNDI we are going to pull the connections. So these three steps we are going to look now today. Okay, so as part of this, my DB is installed at 190 server, and my application server, my application server profile, means Websphere application server is running on 239 IP. Okay, so this is my server. Okay, so I have downloaded this DB2 version. So unzip. So I'm going to show you end to end, so then you can understand very clearly. Okay, so expc, and this is DB2 setup. This is a file where we can install it. Okay, so before installing, so we need to do some configuration changes. Linux 64 samples. So here we have one file. Okay, according to this file, so having some configuration, so this is the place where our database is going to install. Okay, and so this is license agreement. So let me modify this file actually. Okay, so I will give this accept. Okay, done. And here, so here by default it will come up with a few usernames and group names. So we need to create in this particular Linux machine. So here you see this DB2 instance name. Okay, instl, because this is when we are trying to connect to this database. Okay, this is the username which we need to provide. Okay, so then this is the password. Okay, it is asking here. So it is asking to replace the password. So now I will give this password. So I will give the same username as a password. Okay, that's all. Okay, so here we need to create this particular user in this particular Linux machine, and we are going to create this particular group name. Okay, and we will give this group permissions into this particular user, as well as and this is the password. This username and password we are going to configure in this application server profile JNDI data source configurations. Along with this, there are some other users. Okay, say this is instance. This is one more user, and this is one more group. Okay, we are also need to create. So totally 2 users and 2 groups. So I already mentioned over here. So these are the users names, and these are the group names are required. We need to create it in particular before installing this database. Okay, DB2 installation. Okay, so I will going to create so simple steps I have. So first these 2 groups, so which is configured already in this configurations of DB2 came up the configuration files. So I will going to create again 2 users. I am going to assign the above groups. Okay, so done. So home so the users which is created, okay, I assigned appropriate the groups. Okay, done. And next, okay, so this is done. Then next we get back to so the installation steps. Okay, this is the command, so where we can so this is the DB2 setup file, and this is our configuration file which we currently modified. Okay, so this is my system is not meet the exact requirement, but it will work. Okay, over here the version of the RHL. Okay, so the next immediately here it will give you, if you not create any user and any group, okay, if you not map properly, here it will throw an error related to that user related. Okay, so as of now my system is okay with these configurations. Okay, so above one is actually just optional one, so sometimes it will give the problems as well. So now we are going to install this particular DB2 database. Okay, though it will take some time, so we will come back. And so we created some users. So these are the configurations, okay, which are located in this file. The same configurations we followed, we created groups and the users, we assigned it. So the next we are going to create employee. There is one database, I'm going to create employee. Okay, I'm going to activate it, and I'm going to this is not required. I'm going to connect to that particular database, and I'm going to install this particular create some table and insert some records into that particular table. Okay, so it will take some time. So meanwhile let's go to this server, Websphere application server. So or else wait for some time. Okay, let me create so let me make it ready for some records. So we're going to insert just 3 records. Okay, this is 2, this is 3. Okay, okay, so it is execution is completed now. Okay, so now I'm going to switch into this user which we created. Okay, so now I'm connecting to this database. Okay, and I'm switching to this user, and now this is the place which we are to connect into the database. You run this. Okay, so it is connected into this DB2. Now I'm going to create one database, so sometimes it will take time over here. Okay, so create a database. I'm going to create a database, so it will going to take some time. Okay, so next we are going to activate this database, and we are going to connect to this, and we are going to execute this table, just creating one table and inserting into some records. So that's it we are going to do. Okay, so before this, so let's move to this one more server. So we are trying to install DB2 under this Linux machine, and meanwhile we are going to create one application server profile. Okay, so meanwhile it is going to create this also OPT. So we are already installed this Websphere application server. Okay, so I do not have any profiles, it seems. Server profile, so we do not have any profiles. So manage profile.sh, create profile name. So I will give just pf1 application server profile. Okay, so profile 1, and template path IBM Websphere app server server template. Okay, template path profile template. Okay, profile template. Okay, that's it. Okay, just press enter. So it will going to create this application server profile. Sorry, my mistake. We need to give this default. Okay, let me check. Sometimes it was not allowed. Okay, so the default, so I'm executing this. Okay, let me see this. So my create database EMP is successful. So the next step is activate my database. Activate it. Once it is activated, we are going to connect to that database. Yes, just connect. So it is connected. Now under this I'm going to create a simple table. Okay, done. So this is about description about this. Okay, nothing else. So this is the three now we inserted. So this is the records. Let me insert one by one. First record. Okay, this is the second record. Okay, this is third record. Generally, if you connect to this database, so let me, before going to that, so the small changes. So after this I will going to test. Okay, test this DB records with simple okay console application. Okay, this is nothing else. It will show you the difference very clearly, because when we test with the JNDI and without JNDI. Okay, so now I have a JDBC class. Okay, this is my class name of DB2, and this is the database which we created, and this is the port, and this is where my DB2 installed, and this is the username which we created. Okay, so when I run this okay, this is run as Java application. We should try to pull that records. My guess, sorry, something wrong. Okay, connection is authorization is failed, user ID password is invalid. Okay, so this password I'm not created, sorry, I forgot it. Okay, so this is let me quit. Okay, so WD of this user we created. Okay, this is the user we created. I'm not created the password. Okay, password, sorry, not with user, with the root user I'm trying to create the password. Sorry, password of this user I need to create it. So I'm giving the same password. Okay, okay, done. So not created, actually I created only user. Okay, now if I run this I hope it will work now. Okay, fine. So now we got the same records which we three records which we, this is actually console application. So while in consoling, just normally you need to give all the details, whereas in Websphere we are going to create a JNDI. Okay, the use of JNDI, we will get the connection pool, we can create it, we will pull the using this only the data source JNDI name, so we will get all this details. So that we will see with this web application. So I have a simple web application. This web application we are going to deploy now. Okay, so here is I'm using only this JNDI name, so this is not yet configured in Websphere application server. We are going to create it. So but here is I'm just using only this JNDI name only. So by using this JNDI name, we are going to pull this all the DB information which we are going to configure all this information in the Websphere application server. Okay, so this is a very simple servlet program, basic servlet program. So it will execute this toGet method, and it will going to execute this okay, records all this stuff. Done. Okay, so this is a console done. We done this application. Then application server profile we are going to create it. Let me check. Okay, now it is exist application server profile, we created it. So go to profile, profiles, done, application server profile, and logs. Get about this is needed some information. I want to log in into the admin console 9060. Okay, so my previous example of JBoss. Fine. Okay, 9060 IBM console. Fine. Okay, not yet started. Fine. Okay, so let me start this server. Server profile bin start server what default name. So I'm not going to show you any security things and all, as of now, just simple Websphere application server with a DB JNDI connection, how to create it. So this takes some time. So this profile is created. We are going to create this JNDI data source. While data source creation, we need to provide this username and password. Okay, so this which we created inst1. Okay, so with this password. So here I have this Websphere application server is 8.5.5. okay, so and on top of it I installed one more version, but by default I have multiple Java versions. So let me show you that as well. So I'm going to run this on 1.7 version of Java. Okay, taking time, let me check this. So okay, done. Server is almost started, so it is using 1.6.4. okay. So okay, so you can give it any username, no issues. Okay, so my browser issue. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so server types, Websphere application servers. Server 1. So here it's JDK. So I want to use this 1.7 version as a default one. So I don't want to go with 1.6. So now 1.7 is as marked as the default one. So don't let me try to restart once again this. Okay, so this is regarding for my web application to support. Okay, so my web application which I developed, it will work on 1.7 version. So for that case, I just switch this JVM I want to run with the server 1. Okay, the 1.7 version. So I just I'm going to start again the server. So before starting, opt LBM. So application server profiles, application server profile, logs, server 1, system.out. This is my log file. Okay, of application server which we have created and we are trying to start. Okay, so done. So application server, so it is started with Java. Okay, now it is took 1.7 version. Cool. So let me re-log in, test user or something. Okay, so now I will going to resources, JDBC providers. So my JDBC, I will going to create the provider. I am going to select the cell level scope, new. So I will going to select the DB2 which we installed, and DB2 universal JDBC provider, and the connection pool data source. Done. Next. So we need to locate this particular jar files. So I have opt JDBC jars. So I have required jar files under this particular path. Okay, so these are the default jar files. It will look for it. So we need to place it on a particular path. So let me give this. These are the jar files are located over here, and this is my path. Apply path. Next, finish, preview, save it. Done. Next, data sources. So cell level. So we created only provider. Now we are going to create this our actual data source. So okay, DB2 data source. Let me give this. Okay, now in my web application, so JNDI DB2, this is a very simple JNDI name, so I want to give the same DB2. Next, so we already created the provider, DB2 universal JDBC provider, we created already. So my database is name is AEMP, which we created, and it is located in 10.10.2.119. is the default port. Next. So here we have not created, we need to create this authentication. So this authentication user, this is just DB alias. Okay, so DB2 alias whatever. So the user is which we created, DB2 Inst1. Okay, this is the user, and the same password we created, and this is, you can give anything, no issues. Okay, review, save it, and this apply, save it. Okay, so I think, okay, so my mistake, so we need to create for that first. Okay, so again okay, DB2 data source, JNDI, DB2. Okay, so I'm recreating again, back, DB2 and database EMP and this IP. So here this is what we created, the alias. Okay, the next, finish, review, save it. So this is test connection. Okay, so this test was successful. Okay, so now, so we seen already with the console. So now I am going to deploy this web application into this Websphere, and we are going to test that. Okay, so this is the web application only I am going to deploy. So here I just given only this JNDI data source name. Okay, so applications, new application, enterprise application, just I'm going to also not yet created this. So hello world servlet, so export war file, so documents Websphere DB, so I think already exist, fine, done. So this is documents, Websphere JMS DB servlet. Next, next, this next, so select this and apply. So here this browse it, so it will give you this which we created. So I want to select this, so I want to apply this which we created. Next, so so this is my context is very clear to view this. So this is my log, I'm going to deploy this. Next, okay, finish. Okay, this is my log. Any errors it is going to display over here. Fine, to save it. Okay, done. So where my applications, Websphere interface applications, so I want to start this. So done, I think it is started successfully, fine, done. So now I'm going to execute, so that records whatever is displayed over here, the same record should display on the console. Okay, so to test this I want to know this IP, Websphere application server profiles, server profiles, logs, about, so HTTP 9080, so 9080. Okay, then my application context name is this. This URL pattern is this. Okay, there's nothing. You have to see the log. Okay, so we are going to use this JNDI DB2 and we pull this 3 records successfully. Okay, so that's all for this. We done end to end. So we installed a DB2, we inserted some tables and records, we test the simple connection with the simple web application, the same thing which we developed with the simple web application, and we deployed and we got the same records with the JNDI object which we created inside the Websphere application server, the same JNDI. Okay, that's it. That's all guys, thanks for watching this video, and the next session we are going to meet with one more topic. Thanks for watching this video.